So my passport got stolen while I was traveling in Mexico. And this is what happens next. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is one of the scariest things that's happened to me while traveling abroad. And if it can happen to me, it can happen to anybody. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video so I can tell you how you can protect yourself from something like this happening to you. When I found out my passport had been stolen, I was sitting in the back of a taxi on my way to Tulum, Mexico. This was about 2 hours outside of Cancun. My friend and I had just left our hotel after an amazing stay there. We were headed to another hotel in Tulum, but we had a long drive day, and I just wanted to take a break and relax in the car. I was scrolling through Instagram looking at pictures of these adorable puppies, when all of a sudden I heard the taxi driver yell, "We're here." I quickly put my phone down, grabbed my sunglasses off the dashboard, and realized I didn't recognize the address. I looked over at my friend and asked her if she had her phone, because I wanted to check the address again. But then I noticed that she was not holding hers either. She said, "No, I thought you had it. I thought you were checking it earlier." And I was like, "I thought you had it. I didn't want to bother you while you were looking at your cute puppy pictures." She was like, "Oh, okay." So we started to realize that we didn't have our phones. We both reached into our purses at the same time and realized that our phones were also missing. So at this point, I immediately panicked. I started freaking out. I think my friend was freaking out a little bit too. Started asking the taxi driver, "Did you see anything? Do you look in the back?" He said, "No, everything looked fine. You guys weren't in danger." At this point, I knew that my passport was probably gone too. I told him to pull over right there on the side of the road. We got out of the car. We started walking up and down the road thinking maybe we just dropped our stuff somewhere along the way. But we didn't find anything. Now, you might be wondering why I didn't notice my passport being stolen sooner. Well, here's where I messed up. While we were in Cancun, I kept my passport with me at all times. I would carry it in my crossbody purse that I wore in front of me at all times. But while we were getting ready to leave the hotel, I decided that I wanted to move my things around. I took my passport and I moved it from my purse into my backpack, and I put it in between two of my shirts. I thought it was going to be a lot safer there because it would be easily accessible in my backpack. But now that I think about it, that was really stupid. Because if someone did have access to my backpack, they could just take it right out from in between my shirts. Now I was really worried because I had my flight back home in 3 days. That meant I needed to get a new passport in less than 72 hours, or I wasn't going to make my flight home. Now, if you don't know, it usually takes 6 to 8 weeks to receive a new passport once you fill out the application. And I've actually never heard of anybody getting a passport in less than a week before, but I was desperate. So I asked the taxi driver if he knew where I could get help with this, and he drove us right over to the nearest police station. I gave them my information, and they made a police report. They asked if I had any suspects, but obviously I didn't. They took fingerprints and a picture of me. And then they told me to go change in the back room. Yep, you heard that correctly. Police told me to go change in the back room. I wasn't quite sure what was going on, but I changed into these clothes, and they gave me these plastic sandals. Then they marched me right out front to the parking lot and told me to squat down and do 30 push-ups. Then they asked me how many push-ups I could do without stopping. I did close to 300. I'm not even kidding. If you know me in real life, you know that I work out and I'm pretty fit. But come on, guys, that's ridiculous. Then they finally told me to get up, gave me a paper with an address on it, and drove me to a place where I could get a notary stamp. And they drove me to a shipping company where I could send my old passport to Washington, D.C. The entire time I'm in the car, I'm literally crying, thinking, what am I doing? How am I going to get a passport? Will I ever get a passport? What am I going to tell my mom? What am I going to tell my family? What am I going to tell my friends? What am I going to tell my boyfriend? What am I going to tell work? I'm never going to make it home. And I just remember laying my head on the car door, looking at the ground and crying. And then I had to stop myself and be like, okay, you can't keep doing this. You need to focus. You need to get a new passport. It's going to be fine. You're going to make it home. Just focus on getting a new passport. So I went to the shipping place. They stamped my passport. Whatever. I mean, they sealed it up, sent it off. I don't really remember, and then I headed back home. I tried calling the United States Embassy. They were closed. They were only open Monday through Friday, which sucks, but it was Sunday night, so I couldn't do anything about it. I literally spent all weekend stressing. I called my bank, canceled my debit card. I called American Express, canceled my credit card. I couldn't believe that this was happening. I couldn't believe that I was actually going to miss my flight home. I thought, how am I going to explain this to my family? How am I going to explain this to my friends? But then I had a complete mental breakdown on the floor of my hotel room. I was staying in a hotel in Tulum by myself because my friend had to go home. I couldn't get her to stay another day. I was like, she has to go home. Her job can't hold her vacation longer, I understand. I'm sorry. I wish you would stay, but it's totally fine. Don't worry about it. And then I spent the whole next day just crying. The next morning I woke up and I was like, okay, let's get this done. Let's get a new passport. I went down to the front desk and asked them if they could take me to the nearest place where I could try to get a new passport. They helped me. They took me to a place where I could make an appointment to get an expedited passport. Thankfully, I was able to get an appointment for later that day. The lady who helped me was amazing. She walked me through the entire process. She helped me with the forms. She told me exactly what I needed to do. I paid for it, and then I waited anxiously for my passport to come. Now here's the thing. I was told it would be a week. I was told that I wasn't going to get it. Come Monday morning, I got an email saying that my passport was ready to be picked up. Come to find out, my expedited passport actually arrived on Wednesday. I got an email saying that I could pick it up. The lady at the office told me that the reason why mine came so quickly is because I went through a private agency and paid extra money to get it done. If you want to know what I learned from this experience, it's that no matter where you are, no matter how safe you think you are, no matter how careful you think you're being, things can still go wrong. It's important to always make sure that you have a backup copy of your passport and other important documents stored somewhere safe. I store my passport scans and other important documents in an app. I also keep printed copies in my luggage and in my backpack, just in case. Another thing I learned is that if you do get your passport stolen, don't wait around. Get straight to the nearest police station. File a report, get a copy of the police report, take a taxi straight to the notary, and get a copy of your passport notarized. Then you can head to the shipping place, get a tracking number, and then you can head to the embassy website and start filling out the form for your new passport. The third thing I learned is that if you're flying internationally within the next week, you should apply for a $15 expedited passport through the government website. Even though I ended up paying the agency $400 and it still only took a few days, the government option may be easier for some people. Last but not least, I want you to please subscribe. Hit that like button, comment down below if you've ever had your passport stolen, and share this video with somebody you think will find it useful. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. Check out the links in the description for cheap flights, hotels, cars, and more.